Thanks for joining me today, man. We finally made it happen. Like I was saying before we started, I've been following you for quite a while, and you're a super smart dude, and I'm really into your teachings and everything you're about. So looking forward to chatting, man.
Thanks. I feel I'm only smart at that sort of stuff. Everyone's got
Don't-
a thing. Everyone's got a
yeah,
yeah.
don't expand the topics to like, I don't know, cars or something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a niche that I care about, really. That and cooking.
Yeah,
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 that's
no,
passionate. And a bit of jiu-jitsu.
yeah, no, I feel that as soon as people start talking about like movies or like actors or like,
Mm.
I just kind of zone out.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, smart in your lane. That's all you
yeah,
need though, right?
yeah. So you need, yeah.
Yeah. Where I thought we could start is sort of, I suppose, setting the tone. And I've been playing a bit of chess lately, so I thought I'd use a bit of a chess analogy.
Cool. What's your rating on chess?
I actually just cracked 500. I've been playing for maybe a month now.
Okay, cool.
Um,
At 10-minute games?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
nice.
10-minute
I'm
games.
sitting at like 12.50 right now, I think.
Oh, shit. That's a flex. How
Yeah,
long have you been playing?
probably the last couple of years, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I watch YouTube. And whatever it
Yeah,
is, it's saying, okay, who's the best in the world at it? What do they say? And then you just listen to that and do it.
yeah, literally. I've been watching, I guess probably everyone does with that Gotham chess dude.
That's who I watch.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love his stuff, man. I'm like, I watch one of his videos. I'm like, yeah, fuck,
And
man, I'm amped up,
remote
and then
chess,
I have a game and get clapped. What was that? Remote chess.
remote chess academy is like I don't know, he's Russian or something, but he's a good. I love
Oh
his stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I might have to
Yeah,
check
get
that
into
out.
it. Yeah.
But yeah, I just cracked 500 in the last couple of days, and I found that the level of the games is like people are actually good now. They don't just like blunder stuff and like take a piece because they can. So I'm like, oh man, this actually takes a bit of brain power now.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. No one blunders pieces too often, you know?
Mm.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a nice little
Yeah.
side tangent there already. I like it.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to sort of use an analogy where like on a chessboard, everyone is looking at the same pieces, but depending on your experience and your knowledge, you're going to perceive that board and those pieces differently. And I kind of wanted to use that to set the tone of like, how do you perceive the human body? Like when you look at a body and you think about the body and the mind, like where do your thoughts go? A lot of people who maybe don't have much experience when it comes to like, I don't even know, even moving their body, fixing their body, understanding why we're sore, all of that kind of stuff, probably don't see it at the same kind of level as you. So
Mm.
to sort of set the tone, yeah, how do you like perceive the brain and the body?
Like, okay, well, I see it as a vessel for this incarnation to experience reality. Okay. So if I see it like that, then I respect it more because it's like it's my car to experience. You can't go to Europe and fly business if whatever your big dreams are. If you got a sore back, if you got a sore shoulder, if you're sick, right? So that's an important thing. But I'll just sorry. Oh, sorry. And sorry, let me kill the yeah. And so in that sorry, my roommate, she's
You're good.
so to see it like that and then respecting it. So like when I think about the body, I think about like I visualize them if I'm saying working on someone's body, I visualize not even their face or skin, I visualize muscle. So like when I'm seeing movement, I'm visualizing the image of the muscle under the skin. So and for that to happen, you need to then study anatomy first. I didn't do that, but once I started studying anatomy, then I started doing that. So but separate from that, separate from like rehabbing people, right? We're just matter. We are matter. We are sticky shit. We're wet. We're sticky shit, and we're water. We're water, and we're energy and intention. So it's like when we're water, it's like you cut into a lemon, and there's all like the fascia in the lemon, right? That's the reason why the water doesn't hit the puddle on the ground. Like we're water, but why don't we just drop to the ground? It's because we're capsulated in fascia and little parts everywhere, and those little parts get structured dependent upon the environment. And the environment is dependent upon the stimulus and the stress you put on it. Okay. So yes, the environment from nutrition, water, all that sort of shit. Like people forget that we turn over, like anything. So people can turn over their body with shit and you can be a shitty fucking Chinese car or something, you know what I mean? Or you could be a bloody Mercedes or a Toyota, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so when I think about consuming food and micronutrients, I think about that's like the servicing for the car, that's the oil, that's the little headlights, that's everything else. When I think about carbohydrates, I think about that's just the fuel, right? Or food in itself, you know? But then you can get shitty fuel or good fuel, right? So I think about we need this vessel to have optimal nutrients to sustain its cellular turnover in the parts that it needs. And the optimal nutrients are based upon your cravings, and your cravings will tell you what your nutrients are dependent upon. So yes, you can rely on blood tests and whatnot, right? But you can also rely on like what, you know, do I want chicken or fish? Do I want steak? So it's not, you know, to the average, like, you know, fresh out of the uni nutritionist or whatever dietitian, it's just fats, proteins, carbs a lot of the time, right?
Yeah.
So they see it as protein. They see red meat, lamb and beef as protein with different ratio of fat, right? But it's so much more than that, right? It's so much more that we can't even quantify. It's a fucking animal that lived and
Yeah. Yeah.
like eating all this shit. Who knows what else is there? But there's a reason why we crave certain things, and this is where intuition comes into, like, what do I feel like? And what I also think about is sometimes you need to just go health and not even worry about that, because if you don't have a developed palate, like if you grew up on just some American that's just grown up on fast food every
Chicken
day,
nuggets.
yeah, they're not going to know. They're not going to
Yeah.
know about craving stuff. But when you've had a palate that's you've consumed things, and that food has information attached to it, like structure, almost like a matrix code attached to it, your body will say, oh, I need a bit of that, I need a bit of that. No, don't give me chicken, I need beef. But then the average person's thinking, oh, what does it matter? It's protein. But it's the combination of things. It's the combination. You can't get white powder out of synthetic vitamin C, compare it to a fresh orange juice, the color, the life force that it breaks down and dies, you know, like it's living. Even though it's technically living, it's got structure, you know? It's like meat, you kill meat. It's still very much alive while there's blood running through it and dripping out. But once that same meat's been sitting on the shelf or whatever so long, it gets older and older, well, obviously it's not going to give you as much life force, even though technically when they break it down, it's still got protein, still got this, still got this. So when I think about the body, I think about that is we need to consume good water, good food based upon evolution principles, based upon what we ate for millions of years, because we weren't getting sick like that then. Okay. And then the water should be mineralized because we drank from rivers and whatnot. You know, it shouldn't be just dead, empty water. You can taste the difference. And then the stimulus that changes your structure is based upon the environment you put it under, and the environment is based upon the sort of, they call it like piezoforms, like the force. So I take a step. If I take a step in one way, to another way, that contraction is different. If I go for a barefoot run right now compared to a shoe run, then it's gonna be different. It's gonna be a different level of soreness. My calves are gonna be sore. My Achilles are gonna be loaded compared to not. It's gonna be more like almost just landing on the heel, and then you get a different force, and that force then tells your body, I'll put a bit of tissue here, put a bit of bone there, put a bit of this here. And that, when I think about, that's the environment we're in. So right now we're getting force in our lumbar spine and whatnot, because we're sitting and our lumbar spine is in a flat position. So it's taking force and it says, oh, we need to do this, this, this. Those ligaments may be slowly getting lengthened, rah, rah, rah. Either way, your body will adapt to what you do. So then I think, okay, evolution, what are we doing? We were back to Paul Chek's model, which we haven't got into, but the Chek system of like the primal pattern movements, push, pull, bend, lunge, twist, and gait. That's a summation. But even then, that's still a broad term. Really, it's back to a bit of hinging, bit of walking, bit of running. You know, probably walking and running is the most fundamental thing, of like legs go forward and back, upper body rotates, and the core's job is to hold the two together. And that's a really good stimulus of what we evolved to do for a long period of time. And people don't rotate anymore. People just go to CrossFit classes and do forward and back shit, lunges all the time, and just like deadlifts and always just hinging. And I'm not against any of that shit, but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you need a combination of it all.
Combination. It's like, doesn't even make sense. Doesn't make sense to me. So you got to do a bit of that shit. And all the people that tell me about it, they all just got crook backs and shit. All these people like, yeah, but the evidence says this, and this is good for this, and you have this longer living if you deadlift this. And I'm like, yeah, but how do you quantify that? Where's the study if they didn't do that but did this? Where's the study if they slept for 8 hours or 4 hours? Like, it's just like all these different fucking things that it's just so obvious in the end, man. There's such a simplicity of life. And the simplicity is go to bed on time, eat or shoot food that's not sprayed for the shit, Drink water, there's no chemicals in it. Move your body. The body, when I talk about the fascia, that's a cobweb, right? So the cobweb, you've got to make sure that cobweb gets stretched and moved in different angles and different fibers so it brings water and fluid to it. So the water you drink goes to the tissue. If you don't use it, the body won't push fluid to it, you know? So when I talk about foam rolling and fascia shit, that's just bringing fluid to the area, really. And then plus, when you see what I've seen, it's like, I don't care what you bring out. I don't care about what fascia does this and you need this amount of pressure to change fascia and all this sort of shit. When you've done it to your own body and seen it in other people's bodies, you know, like there's been spots in my groin that when I rolled it out, it was fucking agony. And I haven't felt that spot again for years. I never even came back. I don't need to touch it again. Every time I check it, no, it's good. I don't need to do it. So obviously I adapted to something from probably years of school or something, I don't know, or sitting, where that tissue just got fluid was short, pushed out of it. So I need to bring a bit of fascia work, a bit of fluid in back to it. And then since I don't sit for 6 hours a day anymore in school, whatnot, whatever it was, I never had to do it again. So there's like certain spots I realized, oh, they matter. And you can't even quantify them all, bro. I did a mentorship with Diane Lee. Diane Lee is sort of a famous physio. She wrote the book, The Pelvic Girdle, The Thorax, really old school. She's 60 something. She's she's one of the top in the field. And she was talking about a cadaver. She broke down a cadaver that they did, and there was a bunion on this person's foot. So I don't know, put a shoe up, right? Yeah, big bunion.
That's some good content for people right there.
Yeah, big bunion on the foot, and
yeah.
So what that is, when we talk about stimulus, well, they've obviously been pronating that foot too much, or something's going on there that the body's put down bone there. Now you go and talk to people about this, and they're saying it's genetic and no, I'm meant to have it. But you're going to tell me you're going to walk normal, you're not going to wear shit, that's just going to randomly grow there? I've never seen it. You look at the back foot of a surfer, they generally got one because they're fucking pronating on that foot all the time, and that's part of the sport. There's nothing wrong in itself with that, right? But I guess ideally, from a physics perspective, it's not ideal. From like pure physics of force and transfers, and you rather the toe be straight. She's like, why does this chick have that bunion? So they got a foot and they couldn't pronate it. So she was getting like talus tilt. So pronation is really a couple of everything. Like you'll get like a glide and the talus will glide back. The metatarsal should fold. You'll get like a subtalar internal rotation. There's all these little actions that should be happening. But a lot of the time what happens is the ankle just tilts. Yeah. And it's not true pronation. Pronation has to happen with the whole foot, not just the ankle. People call it pronation, but really that's just talus tilt. So she's like, why is this not folding, right? So they're like, let's find out. So they got a chainsaw and they chopped this chick's leg off. Right?
Ruthless,
right? Fold the skin back and like, fuck, there it is. And they found a fascial adhesion, which they find in cadavers, that was sticking the tibialis posterior to the medial malleolus, so like the bone in the little ankle bone.
Wow.
So people, again, if they're viewing this, that bone, it was stuck under here. And it's sort of like grabbing and pulling it and holding it back. That's sort of what it's like. It's like putting a knot in the middle of the rope, shortening it. So it shortens one end of it, and the tibialis posterior connects to the navicular, which is just a bone in the bottom of the foot that holds it up into supination. So it wouldn't allow that to pronate. So they got a scalpel and they cut it, and then the foot could fold immediately. And when I heard that, I was like, all right, you never would have quantified that. I would have had 1 million clients, never would have guessed that. No one would. That's a reason. That's a really good example of how fascial adhesion, from whatever reason, is restricting her pronation, which would have went up to change her hip, would have done something, whatever. Then you go and do all these knee exercises and shit. So I'm like, all right, this matters, And then I've seen also a chick had a swollen hand for 2 years and foam rolling her ribcage, got rid of it within 2 days. 2 years she had the swollen hand. Did all the bloods, naturopath shit, herbs, beetroot juice, blood flow. And it was a lymphatic blockage in her ribcage. And I didn't even treat that. That was just someone that wrote in, said they followed our online program, which has tissue work in it. And she goes, it just completely deflated it. And it makes sense because it's lymphatic, right? It's fluid.
Yeah.
So you get rid of these spots, your body's plumbing. So that's that water I'm talking about. So, yeah, I think of ourselves as a body of water that needs to have hydrated tissue, that needs to move in different planes of motion, set to environment that's not too much or not too little. You go too much, you'll get hurt yourself. You go for a barefoot run, you've done it before, you're going to get Achilles tendonitis if you do 10 Ks, without a doubt. You got to do these little runs and your body will adapt to the stimulus. And but I still think you have to make it adapt to the environment that we're meant to be. I don't think we're meant to make it adapt to things that are dysfunctional. That's what I think. It will still do that better, but I still think there's a cost to pay eventually somewhere, when it just doesn't make sense in nature. And then the food and the water and the sleep, man. And I think that's what we are. You get all that shit on point, you'll have a good life. So that's what I think we are.
Yeah, just do that and then you're sorted.
Pretty well. It's a hard thing, though, isn't it? A lot of things there.
Yeah, yeah. There's quite a few small steps involved there,
Got to figure
and
out.
that shows you the how your knowledge needs to connect all these things. We'll go like, I don't know, we have a sore back, so I'm going to go to the chiro, or like, oh, I'm getting bloating, I'm going to go to a nutritionist, or I'm going to, and I suppose to a certain degree you do need these specialists,
Yeah.
but I think it's also important to consider like what connects all of these things, and is that sort of what the Chek system is? Like, I've only heard of it and I only have like a bit of an inclination into what it is, but like, what are the foundations of the Chek system? Could you sort of describe it?
Well, Paul's system is it's very holistic, man. It goes super deep. There's so many avenues in it. When someone goes in the Chek path, they can branch off into so many different things. People just like, there's doctors that do it and shit. It's really just like it adds to your education, right? But it was my base, so I started that. A lot of people are physios or chiros or nutritionists, and then they jump into it. But I just jumped straight into it from my base. So, well, he has six foundation principles and four. There's the six foundation principles are thinking, breathing, movement. So thinking, breathing, and movement is yang, and then yin, which is sleeping, eating, and drinking. So you just sum out, you look at the yin yang balance of that, which is too much or too little. The yin yang balance is a good summation in the Eastern philosophy of everything in life. Too much, too little. You need to have that yin yang. You need to have the polarities. So too hot, too cold, right? So okay, let's break that down for diet. Is it yang or yin? Yang would be sugar, carbs, coffee. Which is fine in itself, use it as a tool, but not if it's just that all the time. There's no yin. Where's the yin? Where's the protein? Where's the water? Where's the micronutrients? Where's the you know what I mean? That builds you. Yeah, the slow cooks, the lamb shanks, the bone broth, not just the yang coffee and rice and empty carbs. You get all these carbohydrates, but there's no micronutrients usually attached to it too often. And coffee's cool, but without a doubt, I can feel if I have two of them, it's not a good. It doesn't make me feel good. I don't care what energy it gives me. It doesn't make my mind feel good. It brushes you. How many girls are just adrenaline burnt out and shit, and messes with some people's guts. It's just too much. It's fine in itself, but too much of anything. Too much water will kill you, right? Then you look at movement. Too much or too little. Am I just overtraining or am I undertraining? Am I doing fucking anything, or am I just doing too much and I'm burning out? What does that look like? That looks like someone that's so fatigued, but they get up at 4 a.m. to go to the gym. That's the culture is a good thing to do, but I don't believe that. When my body says, when back to listening to your body, my body says, nah, you're tired, just sleep. I'd love you to sleep an extra hour and a half and get that workout done another time.
That's the conflicting thing, and then you check your Instagram and Goggins is on there and you're like,
yeah,
yeah, exactly.
So that's the too much, too little of that. Then you look at breathing, well, obviously too much, too little. Someone, which then could summate back to the diet. Is a yang diet making them breathe too much, thinking. So obviously too much in your head, too little in your head. Sometimes, like when you look at meditation, that's when you truly think. Mm-hmm. Even though that's when you're not meant to, but it sort of is when you truly think. You truly get a stop and a view of what you're actually thinking about, and the actual you comes through. There's an autopilot you that's always thinking, but that's just fucking emotions and things that are happening to you, and an autopilot, yes, no, this is happening. But then there's a stop, there's a you that comes through when you stop, and there's a true you behind it all.
I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Well, actually in the UK, I just started to think like, man, I'm on my some kind of screen or stimulated all day long. And it seems almost like painful if I was to just sit here and not do anything.
That's everyone, bro. That's including myself. Yeah. But it's just an awareness. At least some people aren't aware of that at all, and they wonder why. As long as you got to stop and get grounded, So that was thinking, breathing, eating, drinking, obviously too much, too little water, and sleep, too much, too little sleep, right? So some people literally just they almost need to get their body rolling, like they're sleeping sometimes when they don't even need to. Like they woke up and they're like, oh, I'm just going to lay on the couch and basically sleep. Like just do, there's a balance. So and then you look at your life of like, where am I really out of balance? And then you can even break it down to simpler, the 4-doctor model, which is like Dr. Diet, Dr. Quiet, Dr. Movement, Dr. Happiness. This is a really good yin yang thing to look at this too. So Dr. Diet. Okay, where am I out of balance in my diet? Where am I out of balance in my movement? Where am I out of balance in my happiness? And where am I out of balance in my quiet time? Quiet time is whatever. Quiet time is sleep. Quiet time is meditation. Quiet time is just you chilling, doing your thing, going for a walk. But really looking at your life and thinking, I don't feel good, I'm sick, whatever's going on. Where's the biggest bang for the buck I'm going to get if I'm going to make one change? Okay. And I always look at someone's life and make it real simple to start. Like, all right, do things that aren't even consciously hard, like change your water. Okay, you're going to drink water anyway. Use this filter. So you're not drinking tap water. Because every time you drink water, your body is breaking down chlorine, fluoride, heavy metals. Your liver has to deal with that. Your fucking kidneys have to deal with that. And you go to these evidence-based, fresh out of uni guys talking about, it doesn't matter, your kidneys are meant to detox. Yeah, but I'd rather not have to do that while they detox the air. Like, it's you know what I mean? Like, it's some mates. It's fine having a bit of this, but then you're having the chlorine in the water, then you're having the chicks having the makeup, then you're having the shitty food, then you're not even sleeping that good, so you're not even detoxing that well. Then you're having this, you spray on your food. That all just equals, and they think of it all as different things.
It's like an isolation, eh?
Yeah, they're thinking, nah, the study says you can have 0.4 parts of chlorine per. It's like, yeah, but what the fuck is the study seeing what you have for dinner in the fucking bag?
Yeah. What's the whole picture, right?
Well, the whole picture, it's just obvious, man. It's so obvious, bro. Like, so many, you can tell when people look toxic. They get the dark circles under their eyes. I had a girl recently, her tits were leaking through her, fake tits. But I looked at how toxic she looked and she got them out and immediately her face changed, lots of dark circles, all health issues went away. But I was like, oh, that's really just shows toxicity.
Yeah.
And other people, when they have that same look just from their toxic overburden, that every day they're eating something. Every morning they're eating sprayed coffee. Every morning they're having seed oils in their oat milk. Every morning they're having wheat bix that have glyphosate on it, literally every day. Of course they're going to get some cancer or illness or sickness. And then they're going to wonder why they got it. And they're going to go find a specialist, try and summate the massive chemical reactions going on in their body for years of unchecked bullshit to summate into some illness. Then they're going to try and find a specialist on that illness. It's just Matrix, dude. It's a clown, and it's so empowering when you see through it all. You're like, oh, fuck, it's actually way simpler. And you know what I like, though? But I got examples of crew. I got older mentors that live this way, that they're an example. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. Look how different they look than every other 60-year-old next to them. Look how they're doing push-ups and sit-ups and still fucking and still talking well, still clear and still running. And then the other ones are sick as shit and can't even move their body.
Yeah.
What are they doing different? They're not doing all this other shit. They're just eating spray food, going to bed on time, drinking some water and getting a bit of movement. But people aren't even doing that, man. But it's just they don't know. It's an awareness. And that's what this is all about. That's why I do these podcasts and shit. Because it's like, someone's going to listen to this and they're like, fuck, this makes sense. Like, it's hard to deny what I'm saying too. They can bring up papers and studies and shit. It's very hard to deny it. There's studies that tell you posture doesn't matter. But when I have someone like this morning, I change his posture and his pain goes away while he does the movement. Well, obviously posture matters. He's in that huge extensive, he's got extension-based pain. He sticks his ass out and his back hurts. Okay, well, that's body's telling you something. So your posture matters while you got a crazy anterior tilt. So therefore, we should probably do something about that. So I got him to back bend. I got him to forward bend.
Yeah.
As he come up, his back hurt. I was like, all right, now draw your core in a little bit because your lower abdominals have descended, which will then posteriorly tilt that pelvis, theoretically, not even theoretically, it does. Give space to that joint there. It means it has more room before it bumps into each other at the back. Oh, my pain's gone. So posture matters. But since they're going to tell me, well, get 30 people and get a piece of paper and make sure those 30 people all have anterior tilt and make sure those 30 people all sleep 8 hours and make sure those 30 people all eat organic food, make sure those 30 people all don't drink tap water and make sure those 30 people all have the same like tensions of their body in the job. Like, it's impossible, but they're going to see back bending 20, 30 people didn't make a difference. Like, it's dumb as fuck.
That's the trap of the scientific mindset is good. Like, it's brought us so much progress, but then it's also a trap where if you can't confidently prove that thing is the case, then it's not the case.
Oh, exactly. And this is when we talk about gods, like there's a model where they talk about what we've revered in as humans. So we started as we were God. We were just an animal. We didn't know about separation, right? We were part of it. And then all of a sudden we got smarter and then theoretically disconnected us really. But then it was like river gods and water gods and the fire god. Then it came into sky gods and, Zeus and Hades and whatever your culture was. And then it's gone into religion, one God, And then it's gone left from that. It's gone to science as the God, right?
Yep.
So we're changing. We're constantly changing this new, science is God, right? And then the next step up from that we're not there yet, but they would talk about is the combination of connectedness to God and the fact that we're here is God in itself. Whatever you want to call it, I don't care what you call it, but the fact that we're here is God. We are God, right? And combining science, but also combining common sense and our own godly intuition with things, not just treating that as the science. A really good example is a woman had a parasite in London, actually not one parasite, shitloads of parasites, so much that she was shitting out 2 meters of worms a day, like a really bad parasite infection.
That's insane.
Like little ones equaling about 2 meters in length, right?
Yeah.
So bad. She went overseas, got these things. She went and got a parasite test from the main parasitologist place in London. She gave him the parasite, fell out of her ass, and tested it, still wriggling. Nice. They came back and told her, "Oh, you don't have parasites. It's all good." Because the piece of paper told them, which is their God, told them she doesn't have parasites. Yet she's like, "What do you mean? This fell out of my fucking ass. Here, what do I have?" They're like, "We can't help you. The test showed nothing." So this happens all the time with parasites. So they'll pass the parasite test, but a lot of the time they have them and they shit out fucking worms, right? Because they're testing for eggs. So if they don't pick up an egg, then therefore the test fails, right? So the test isn't even that accurate.
Yeah, it's a bad test.
But the bottom line is that's a really good example of these people that, like, how dumb is that, man? That she's got a fucking parasite. They saw it. Their eyes, reality, their godly gift from God, viewing, says, I can see this, but no. I was taught and so indoctrinated that the piece of paper is what guides my education, my learning, that I can't help you because the piece of paper says this. I don't care what that says. Now, where else is it happening in life? It's basically happening to ourselves all the time in our own body. The piece of paper says I'm not gluten intolerant, yet when I eat gluten, my stomach fucking hurts. That's happening all the time. People are doing this shit all the time. They're children. So it's about evolving from this child archetype into a king or a queen, or not even just a fucking man or a woman, man, an adult. Because there's so much ways our bodies are telling us things. Our bodies are telling us, I don't really love that chick. Maybe I should leave her. You know? My soul's telling me I don't love her. This is going to end in 5 years. It doesn't end now, but I'm going to stick around because it's whatever. My mind says I should do this, and we're meant to do this, and I don't want to be alone, and blah, all these, because they're afraid of being alone. How many people are, they're fucking tired all the time because their body's telling them to sleep, so they drink coffee. My body's telling me to sleep, so I drink coffee. My body's so sore, but I want to be fit, so I'm going to go train when it wants you to sleep. My body wants me to take a shit, but I'm going to sit on the computer for the next hour and not take a shit.
Yeah.
Where else? It's just all day long. It's just communicating to you. My body's in pain. Why is it in pain? I don't know. Let's go inject it and stop the pain. It's just, this is everywhere in life. And it's just that evolution that we all need to aspire to realize this and see, fuck, where am I? Why do I have this sickness? Why do I feel like shit? What am I choosing on a day-to-day basis, whether that's subconscious or unconscious or subconsciously, to manifest the reality that I've chosen I'm doing to myself? Or even if something's happened to you, you got a choice in how you're going to react to it. And there's always going to be hard times. Everyone's going to have hard times, but you got choices always. And sometimes there's only an optimal choice and a shit choice. And people choose either the shit choice or they choose not to make a choice. And if you don't make a choice, then reality will make a choice for you in the future. And that choice will incur more pain than when you just did it at the start, when your soul told you in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But another thing sort of in relation to all of this that I've been thinking about lately is that this reality we live in now, where it's like working 9 to 5, sitting at a desk, eating crap food, and we're told that it's not that crap, like being overweight, alcohol, screens, all of this stuff is like, we've only been doing that, like some of that not even 50 years.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're only 30. Like that is our whole reality. Like we don't have anything else to compare it to. So we don't, like, speaking of data, we don't have the data to necessarily support that those things are causing me pain or discomfort or like psychological anguish or something like that, because like our reality has always been this. So that's the only thing that we actually know.
And we get distracted, man. Like you were talking about before, the rush, how we eat and we're doing something on the phone. Like, really what you got to do is eat and see, do I feel good after I eat? Do I feel like I've got energy? It may not even be a gut issue, but do I feel tired from this meal? Or do I get a surplus of energy? I should feel nice and light and fresh and should give me energy. If the food didn't give me energy, then it's probably not the best food for me. Okay? So you'll notice when you go get like burgers or whatever, I fucking love a burger,
Oh, shit, yeah.
It may give me energy for my workout,
Yeah.
but there's going to be a crash, and that energy is coupled with that. And what I find is you don't have to have these crashes all the time. People are used to this crash. It doesn't have to be there. Whenever I do that, we do a parasite cleanse. Whenever I do it, half the time I don't even have parasites. But really, for me, it's a bit of a challenge where I just lock in on my diet for 4 weeks. I save money. I'm cooking all my meals. I have a break of coffee. It feels good, right?
Yeah.
But then I have had parasites a couple of times too, which I wouldn't have known. No fucking way I would have known. I wouldn't have got that tested as a guy. Like,
Yeah.
it makes sense because I went to Bali and Japan, and I got sushi, and that's where you get it, man. But yeah, like it's just seeing how food makes you feel, and if something's off, if you're tired, the first warning you get is always fatigue. That's the first warning. Next warning is sickness, flu. Next warning is an infection. The next warning is a disease, right? And disease is cancer, and cancer takes at least 10 years, of just these warnings gone unchecked. So it's like, it's just that. It's really seeing why do I ask myself when I don't feel good, even mentally. And I don't like get down and out really, but everyone has their days. I ask myself, why don't I feel good today? Like, what have I done? Have I just sat on my phone? Have I got sunlight? Have I, you know what I mean? Like, have I eaten shitty? Have I just had coffee? Like, why don't I feel good? Because people think that their thoughts are them. They think when they feel bad that that's them. But they don't
They're
realize
attached to it.
when they do shit, they have a shit day. But then the days that you're fully on fire, like, fuck, I feel good, I'm frothing, reflect. Why do I feel so good? What did I have for dinner the night before? How much sleep did I get? What did I have for breakfast? What was my routine like today? Because you can do that shit every day, man.
Yeah.
You can do that every day. So it's just that reflection of like the body, this reality is always talking to you. And are you going to listen or are you going to not? And if you don't listen, it'll pull you back to the end of the soil, consume you, recreate you, and you'll be another incarnation. Hopefully it happens in the next life.
Yeah, give it another shot. Yeah. And so often I reckon like those days that you feel good is because you've done things for yourself. Like maybe a real tangible example, like say you start work at 9 a.m., the day you sleep in till 8:15, 8:30, and then you're like, oh shit, rushing around, like trying to get ready, got to leave the house. Like versus you getting up at 6:30, 7, you go for a walk, you go for a run, you do some movement, eat like a nice breakfast, and then you're, oh well, better head into the office now, or better start work.
Yeah.
Like so often that choice that's better for you, and maybe even sometimes a slightly harder choice.
Yeah.
Like I reckon that often like results in you feeling better. And maybe it's the like goal, like ticking something off kind of thing, you've already ticked something off and you see yourself working towards something for you. But
yeah, I see it like that. And also like I find when you're like this, the world responds to you better. Like your whole reality becomes better. Everyone wants a piece of you. Everyone wants to be around you. They want to be around your energy because they get inspiration in you doing it. It's very hard that people are in control of what they put in their mouth, man. I've been around multimillionaires. The energy, I feel like they're looking up to me a bit because they're not controlling what they put in their mouth. They're like, I wish I could train and shit. They got millions of dollars, but they can't do a push up, So it's like people want to be around it because it inspires and it does work. Like your crew does start slowly changing around you with little changes. It could be the tiniest change. Okay, my friends, they still scaffold. I used to scaffold.
yeah,
They're on the health path now because I did. And they drink kombucha instead of Coca-Cola at lunch, right? Now, the guy that's always getting Coca-Cola is like, what the fuck are you drinking that shit? What's kombucha? Now he drinks kombucha. Now his kids are going to drink kombucha. Now you know what I mean? Like it's
a thing
like that. So truth transcends time. Truth spreads, and the truth is what works. And we know it works because you live an example of it. People respect that. And also, what makes you feel good outside of that is also service to others, and that in itself is a service to other. By you serving yourself, other people will feel inspired. And you see that and you serve it. And I know, like the biggest high I ever get is when I work with a client and I get a good result, and they're happy, and I'm happy. And whatever that is, could be anything. Could be just be like making someone smile, man. You know how nice it is to like when you're feeling the energy is down. So pick yours up so you don't bring other people's down. Pick yours up so the lady at the coffee shop say, hey, how's your day? I like your hair, whatever. Make them smile, and therefore you get a feeling, and it changes everything, man. So if you can bring service to others while being healthy, that's a good life ahead of you.
Yeah, it is ironic how serving others is almost feels like a selfish deed sometimes, eh?
Yeah,
you're like, I'm doing this for you, but it's kind of for me as well,
There's a book called Awareness. I forget his name. It's called Awareness. It's a good audio book, and it's basically that. He goes, everything is selfish.
Yeah.
Everything. There's a level of it. He goes, the person that dives on the grenade to save the other guys, I'm a hero.
Yeah, he's the one who's talked about. He
Yeah,
saved those other guys.
yeah, exactly. But there's a level of that, and that's fine. That's not a bad thing. There's always a
Nah.
level of like, look how good I am. I'm helping you, but look how good I am. This makes me feel good. There's a level of selfishness. There's a level
Yeah.
like I see those videos of people giving money to like,
Oh yeah.
and that
Yeah.
almost makes me cry, man. Because like,
Yeah.
fuck, like I saw one of this chick in Bali got given like he forgot his wallet, he didn't, and she was going to pay for his meal, which is her day rate, and then he gave her $500, and she broke down crying, and I was like. That nearly made me cry because I was like, fuck this, that look how much that means to this woman, you know? And that obviously makes him feel good. So he got a level of selfishness to it. And then people in the comments like, just do it without filming it, rah, rah, like bring it down. They're not even doing it at all. Breaking
Nah.
down this guy doing it when he inspires me to do it and other people to do it because he's
Yeah.
doing it. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, it's truth in what he did. There's obviously a heart in that. So the truth transcends time. The truth comes to me, and I'm like, I want to do that. When I make heaps of money, I can't wait to just give someone $1,000 that needs it. You know, like that excites me. If it makes me want to work harder.
Yes, I see those on TikTok too, and there's always this like paradox of like, oh yeah, you're just doing it to look good, but then you're like, wait, you're still doing good,
Yeah.
and you posting it on social media is allowing you to do that more because
Where's the
you're,
money coming from? And you
yeah,
listener. Yeah.
that's got 2 million likes. You're
Yeah.
probably going to get a decent amount of money from doing that, and you do that all the time. Like I see ridiculous ones now where this dude, there was a lady living on the street in the States with her kid, and he freaking bought her a house and a car, and like.
Yeah. How good.
Like, wow, that's insane. That's just not like here's some food or like here's a quick handout. Look at me. It's like I'm changing your life. Like I got in like through his connections, gets her a job, and now all of a sudden she's got a job and can provide for herself. Like,
Exactly. Because he'd be getting donations, he'd be selling merch,
yeah,
he'd tax write off, and he's still doing it for the good of his heart, I'm sure. But there's
yeah,
always benefits. So everyone wins. In that case,
mm,
both of those people win. So fucking do it. You know, no one
yeah,
loses out.
yeah. When it comes to like assessing your body and understanding where you could improve, sort of like all those areas that you touched on. How how do people begin that process? Like I think you sort of spoke to maybe quite a lot of intuition there, and also right at the start you were saying how specifically with food it's hard to have intuition if you haven't built the sort of
Pellet.
the routine, yeah, the palate. But like, is it literally just a matter of like sitting down and asking yourself like, where could I improve, or is there like an actual assessment for each area that people could
Yeah.
follow? Like,
That is a hard one, hey, because I have the awareness of where things are meant to be from a physics perspective that no, they won't have, you know? But what I've also found is when you bring the joint and the body into those positions, it feels better. It is better. Like, oh, that does feel better. You know, I wish it was there all the time. Like, um, so feeling is the key, but feeling is very hard, and feeling takes time, and it takes more and more time. It's like you almost need a bit of guidance from someone that's living it. Like I actually plan on writing a book and teaching that. I'm still figuring out how to do that and simplifying it. But like Paul Chek's got a sick book, How to Eat, Move, and Be Healthy. And there's a stretch test in it. So you can go through and test all the stretches. So, and just see, okay, I think a good basic somewhere to start is try and create symmetry. Symmetry. So you test one hamstring to the other, do one quad to the other, one pec, whatever, and create symmetry as much as you can, right? So then if my left pec's side my right pec, I'm going to stretch it for left, right, left. I'll do 30 seconds to the left, 30 seconds to the right, or an extra 30 seconds on the left. Well, from shorter time, just the left. Bringing symmetry is important because asymmetrical sides, which we're all going to have asymmetries, but they get to the extreme. Then you can change.
yeah,
I've seen it. The guy this morning, man, his pain went away in forward bending when I took away the asymmetry in his glute tightness. Okay, so he had a
crazy.
20-degree difference in his glute tightness. The way he uses his body, I don't know why, but whatever.
Yeah, I was watching one of your YouTube videos where you were assessing a bow hunter,
Oh, yeah.
and like how was it his? I think his right shoulder was way further forward. Like
Yeah,
when you had him lying down on the table, and like he was sort of like twisted and like you were breaking it down, but like
exactly.
that
Because
was like a big asymmetry.
so that's his stimulus. And he looks, the twist is in the ribcage from doing it. He draws so much arms back. So his body is therefore adapted to that. Therefore, it's creating a twist. And the most destructive force in the human body is rotation because it's coupled with shear. Okay. So without it, like, here's a good example. How can I, okay. There was prone knee flexion. You lay someone on the table and you bend their knee, right? So you feel their quad tightness. When the quads pull, it'll pull the lower back into extension, and their pain will be in the lower back if they got pain, right? Now, it's not the not the tilt itself. Generally, that is the pain. It's that one is tilting and it's the twist with the tilt. Okay, so it's the tilt and the shift and the rotation. So you'll see big imbalances with someone's, say, hip flexor tension. And also in my experience, it's usually the rectus femoris, usually the quad and the TFL. It's less psoas. It's very rare that it's psoas. Very rare. People think they're type psoas. They usually don't. It's usually the rectus femoris, which is the center quad, and the TFL, which is tensor fasciae lata for people listening, which is just like a hip flexor that runs into the IT band and it crosses the knee and through the IT band. So then you see, okay, that's tight on that side. Then you watch them walk, and then you'll see when that hip goes back, which is putting that on stretch, it twists the pelvis more on that side. So they're getting this little twist. And their pain is the twist. Their pain is like, okay, I always tell people, make it hurt. Whatever you do. Does it hurt forward? Just bring on pain. Show me what the pain is. And a lot of the time it's like a little back bend, and sometimes it's a back bend and a twist. And then you watch them walk and you see that little happen micro every step they take. And the thing is, this is what I'm really certain on. And have you ever looked into Shirley Salmon's work?
No.
We did a podcast with her, man. Listen to that.
Oh, yeah.
She's like one of my biggest pillars at the moment. She's all I listen to at the moment. I go through these people. My whole thing is a summation of all these different people, and I just take everything from them and leave what I don't want, right? So mine's like Chek and Diane and Shirley and Anatomy Trains and all this sort of shit. Shirley is 87 years old, still practices, and she's got 60 years of clinical experience, 65 years.
Wow.
Now, if you really understand what 65 years of clinical experience, and she speaks out against this evidence-based shit, she's like, I'm without a doubt this is the case. She'll just claim it, but she's got 65 years of clinical experience, dude. I've seen videos of her making people's pain happen and then making a knot from changing the structures and moving it and shit. So we know, that's causing the pain. Now, therefore, what do they need to do?
Yep.
She goes, from my years, this is what I've realized. Most people's pain is something's moving too much. The area that hurts is moving too much. Not moving, not that it's not moving enough. It's that it's moving too much. So when someone's got that lower back pain, when I move that quad and it creates a torsion and it moves that lower back, it hurts it. So even though that's the area that hurts, she's not saying that's just the area that's moving too much. Now, why is it moving too much? Maybe somewhere else is not moving enough, and it's making it move there too much, right? So make the curve stiff up top, and it's making that segment move a lot. And it's just so true that I don't care what comes out. It's like telling me the sky's not blue. It's like so obvious to me because I've seen it now. So that's micro movement to that area. So that woman takes a step from that TFL that's gotten facilitated and tight. Okay, every time they take a step, they get a little bit of motion. Whatever, 20 years, not even 20 years, 2 years of that micro movement becomes macro because all of a sudden it moves, it degrades that tissue for a micro, like a little scratch over years, and then they get pain. Now, then you get the study that says 20 people with lumbopelvic twists and there's no pain, or 8 had pain and 8 didn't, so therefore there's no enough correlation. But remember, we regenerate overnight. So you can have that micro issue, eat really well, eat collagen, eat bone broth, have the nutrients on board, sleep 8 hours, drink water, not be stressed out in life, and you'll probably regenerate pretty well, and your regeneration will be enough. That same person that has that twist, eats shitty food, doesn't sleep well, without a doubt they're going to get pain because they're going to degenerate quicker than they regenerate. And the secret is teaching the awareness to not do that movement, also doing all exercise and finding where else you can help it from a postural perspective of like tension and compression, but also teaching them not to do that. And then basically it can start to heal. And then it gets to a point that you're not scratching it every day from a little bit of motion, right? So I forgot how we got to that, but that I'm big on that, man. I'm really big on that. Posture definitely matters. Posture definitely matters. People have wearing and posture during the movement. Also, just people can have anterior tilt, but they got a flexion-based issue because they would move in a different, like a forward bend differently. So I didn't know that for a while. This is all coming through years, but I used to just focus on static posture. Then I went dynamic. Now I'm checking movement patterns of their everyday life and addressing that. And now I realize, fuck, that's probably the most important, man. Because the guy points at Tyler. I can give him all the shit he wants, but if he's going to bend over how he's been bending over, which he showed me, if the exercise won't fix that, it's a strategy to learn. Everyone picks up. There's EMG studies of people picking up boxes, and the EMG firing is completely different. This person uses their hamstrings. This person uses their back extensors. This person uses their glutes. It's going to show up as different things, and you can almost guess, that strategy will develop this posture, and it does. The person that uses their back extensors will end up with an anterior tilt because they're using their back extensors. They're not using their glutes, so therefore their glutes are inhibited. They posteriorly tilt the pelvis. They're not being used. Their back extensors are being used. They're going to hypertrophy those muscles. Those muscles are going to pull their curve into it. They're going to arch their back. They're going to compress those facets. And they're going to generally show up as an extension-based injury or spondylolisthesis, some shit like that. Doesn't matter. Now what I'm moving towards too is diagnosing the movement as the pain and less of the. So instead of saying L5S1 disc bulge, which I'm still looking at this and aware of it, I'm going to say flexion-based syndrome because generally that flexion doesn't like it. So it's giving us a language to communicate to other people. So therefore, if I send her off to a PT and she's going to do PT work with this person, I got to let him or her know. Oh, just know that she's got a flexion-based syndrome. So be aware of that. Make sure she's probably not loaded in flexion. Make sure she's not going into too much flexion, or at least not flexion under load. Because you get away with it in cable machines and shit, it's fine. You're always going to be able to flex. Like, you're going to sit where in flexion. You're going to get the flexion in life. But it's when you load it and it pushes pressure into the disc, and then flexing it, that will push the disc out the back. Now, there's people out there that think you can gradually increase the load. There is truth in that. But for most people, I think you should probably not flex your lower back under load because that's where the nucleus will go at the back. And if you don't have to, you just hinge. It's the way the body wants it. The body feels like, oh, hinging feels better. Back to field, it feels better when I hinge. I feel like the load's more shared and not hanging off my ligament. That's just hanging off passive shit doing it. I'd rather use a bit of muscle and the passive. Use the two together. Don't just hang off shit because most people's body and their posture is just hanging off ligaments, hanging off the hip joint, hang off the back, whatever it is, hang off the side of the hip, like a pregnant mum with a kid in one arm, hang off the side.
Turning off to the side,
That's to save energy because it's a muscular contraction to activate that glute medius there. So if they don't have that muscular tone because they're tired and they have never trained it, then they're going to try and hang off shit.
Yeah.
You need to bring up enough tissue tolerance, enough endurance into the tissue that the tissue can actually like do the job. And then you need to bring an awareness to that tissue and make sure there's no structural mobility crazy indifferences that are actually going to make it impossible for them to do that even with movement. If the muscle's been shortened for so long, it loses sacromeres and it actually loses the ability to lengthen. So therefore, stretching comes into play. But in my experience, the most important is the stability exercise. But there is cases where I have seen like a stretch and deep tissue completely get rid of someone's pain. I have seen that too. Okay, it's just less common, but it is part of it. It's part of the puzzle. It's always a puzzle. I'm always just having a theory, guessing, see what happens. But that worked, didn't. What did I miss? Every person's like that. There's never I do this for that, this for that.
Yeah, no cookie cutter stuff.
Never a cookie cutter, bro. Like there's patterns, things that you need to see, but there's never pain will guide you. If I give someone something and it hurts more, I do have it till I'm wrong. I need to change something. I want to see pain improvement. My excitement is always pain. I want someone in pain, and I want to get them out of pain. That's what excites me more than just making them strong and look good and shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's so much better than just doing some like bicep curls or something. I remember the first.
If someone had a shoulder impingement, that long-headed bicep crosses the top, which then pulls that bicep down, pulls that humerus down, which may give space there beside us. So maybe your bicep curl healed it. Who knows?
Yeah, and it's better than just for looking good. It's actually pretty cool. But I remember like the first time I sort of got introduced to those theories of like it's what you do all the time that sort of causes the pain. One of my best mates' mums, she was a physio. So it was kind of handy when we were at high school and we were playing sport and played like volleyball and always had knee issues and shit. But I remember her saying, because we lived in a town called Whakatane, which is right on the beach, and she would get patients in who would have like low back pain. And one of the first questions she'd ask them was like, oh, do you walk on the beach a lot? Because like the beach would be on a bit of an angle. Yeah. And she's like, if they just walk from that exit to that exit and then down the streets, it's like you're always like every day maybe you're walking on this angle like all the time. And then they'll be like, oh, yeah, no, I do walk on the beach. And like that sort of clicked with me because I've been into the gym since high school and like how the body moves and all that kind of stuff. It's like, wow, that's real interesting. And then fast forward, moved to Wellington, we linked up with a really cool physio. Her name is Martima. And one thing that she said similar to that, like actually what you said with the baby, but more so just like if you're always standing off on one side, always putting your weight onto your left foot or your right foot, that's going to cause issues. But you think like, surely it's me deadlifting too much or me squatting too much, or like it's got to be a one thing. It's got to be an event. Like maybe the one thing is the thing that tips you over the edge.
Definitely.
But it's actually because you haven't even been standing straight for the past 10 years or something like that.
100%, dude. And now people listen to this, they'll be like, fuck, how am I sitting? How am I watching?
Yeah.
Do I always lean my ribcage off that way? Do I always
Yeah.
do this? So, like, you realize we're doing this shit everywhere, but you can bring this awareness. It becomes fun, man, when you bring awareness to it, because you're like, you can have longevity, you know?
Yeah.
Have longevity. People don't have to live in pain, you know? They can do a lot. Do a lot.
Yeah, man.
So, cool.
Yeah, where we were. Oh, what started all of that was actually asking about, like, how does one assess themselves?
Yeah. So I would start with tissue work. So I would start with foam rolling your entire body with, if you don't know how to do that, there's so much shit on YouTube. We have an online posture course that has all that tissue work stuff in it, or most of it. And that's a really nice way you can scan left and right. Because what generally it is, right, too, that bit that hurts more is usually tighter too on the range of motion. So that's the correlation I found. So go through your entire body, quads, focus on the pelvis, quads, groin, outside thigh, like IT band, hamstrings, glutes, go into the pecs, back, neck, all that sort of shit. And test, okay, what does that side feel like to that side? Go through and just make everything symmetrical. I did that a lot at the start. I was doing like hours a day on myself. And eventually you get to a point that you don't really need to do much of it. It's like a little tune-up. It takes a little 10-minute tune-up instead of an hour. And then I just do a little bit. I do a little bit every day, but I do a big session once a week, where I just like clean my body out. And I do a lot of jiu-jitsu, so I just unwind what that sport does to me. It's in balance. I'm always using my left arm and everything, doing this. I'm going to always do that. So therefore, I always just think, okay, where's my strength and differences? Oh, my right leg's smaller than my left leg. So I do 3 sets on my right, 2 sets on my left. My right arm's smaller than my left arm. I do 3 sets on the right, I do extra stretching on whatever's tighter, extra tissue work, and just do your best to create symmetry. But I find what connects the mind to it is the tissue work at the start, because it's like, trigger points. So you really feel it, and then you'll find that it will really increase your range of motion. Like you could feel the stretch first, do a hamstring stretch or a quad stretch, then go roll it out and go back and feel the difference. And you're like, oh, fuck, I get it now. That's important. I should probably do that once in a while, and always just think symmetry, get as much symmetry as possible. And then we want to build time and attention exercise in. So people forget about time and attention. They go straight to weights all the time. You want a good, like, type 1 endurance fiber base in your body, just to maintain that. Always have that. Doesn't take long to get there too, I find. And you can build a tank on top of that if you want, right? But always keep that postural endurance, because that's why you'll hang off shit. You can do rows with your back at heavy weight, but within a few hours, if you're a checkout chick, you're going to be fucking rounding out still.
Yeah. Is that the tonic system?
Tonic system, yeah.
Yeah.
Type 1 fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Tonic because they hold tone all day long. That's why.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah.
So it's tonic and phasic. Phasic are the big muscles. It's every muscle has a combination of the two, but you actually can change it through training. There's a genetic aspect, but you can change it through training. But when you're doing like fast twitch, 8 to 12 reps of like heavier weight, longer, slower time, less time and attention, that's going to be hitting the phasic fibers more. They phase on and off.
Yeah.
Faster twitch. Tonic, they're like static on, and they're endurance. So they need to be taken to endurance to fatigue them and hypertrophy them. Also, they are deeper in the body. So the phasic are more superficial, tonic are deeper to the joint. So therefore, they're closer to the joint, closer to the axis of rotation, means that they're more stabilizing muscles, right? So, you want to get that, like, when I do hip bridge with my back on the ball for my glutes. Now, I do normal hip thrusts with weight for sure, because I just want to fucking build it sometimes, right? But you get girls doing 150 kilo hip thrusts, and I get them with no weight doing 12 reps at a 3-1-3 tempo, doing 3 sets of that with 30 seconds rest. Their fucking glutes are shaking by the end.
Killer. Yeah.
So, and it feels good. You get up and you feel it. Like, you understand, it feels like it sort of keeps it there. Like if I'm doing a shoulder strength exercise and I cook that for 3 minutes, I hold a band and I wrap it around my arm and hold for 3 minutes. When I let go, it sort of feels like it stays there. I don't think about whole shoulders back. It just does it. And it burns. It's hard. It's mentally hard. But afterwards, you're like, fuck, that feels good. And then the next time you do it, it's so much easier. I could only do 2 minutes 30, and today I could do 2 minutes 50. It's a lot. In 2 weeks, I can do 4 minutes. That's fucking nearly done.
It's a big progression, eh? Yeah.
Progression. It's amazing. And I'm like, okay, that matters, because then if I get, go on a Swiss ball and I do my back extensors, then I'll get them strong enough that I can sit here on the desk and I won't even think about it because my tonic fibers are on to hold me there subtly. But it'll be longer before I end up like this. and that's hanging off everything. That's just hanging off the ligaments, right? Now I'm getting micro movement, right, at this segment of my neck, which everyone fucking gets, C6, C7. Generally, most people's neck issues are C6, C7, that lower, because that's the bit that's moving too much, right? And below it's not moving enough. So if I share that curve, now that curve is moving at the bottom. Now it's not going to move too much there. The curve is shared, and one segment's not going to move too much and deteriorate. Okay, so it's yeah, it's that. But that's I know I would say like to get a deeper knowledge, like you want to work with someone like what I get when someone works with me like in person. I do work online too, but it's obviously not as detailed. Um, I really like get into all that and teach them shit. Make sure they feel it. Like I put a stick on people's back to teach them where the curve is, right? But the problem I had with that was like, fuck, it's just annoying. They got to put a stick on their back and shit, when they're by themselves. So in the session, we do it, and I keep cueing them, right? And I go, okay, now I'm going to take the stick away. Now I want you to close your eyes, and like say we're doing a forward ball roll, where they're rolling out the ball, right? And they're going to tuck the tail under or stick it out, whatever the pelvis is doing. And I go, now what I want you to do is bring your mind's eye to your lumbar spine and feel it. Now I want you to tuck your tail under too much and feel that. And I want you to stick your ass out too much and feel that. So you pendulum. Now tell people, all right, now pendulum and tell me where it feels the best. Tell me where it feels like there's no load there, it's shared, there's no force in that lumbar spine. And they go back and forth and they're like, there. And then I put the stick on the back and it's fucking perfect nearly every time.
Oh, that's so sick. Teaching them what not to do. I like that, eh? Not just like, no, keep it there, keep it there. It's like, no, take it to the extreme either way so you feel what
and I just
not correct feels like.
once. And then I'm like, see, you don't need the stick. Your body tells you. Now do that with every fucking movement in life.
Yeah.
Like there's a gracefulness to movement you can do. So then their lumbar curve, they have an awareness of what does it feel like when you lunge, when you squat, when you deadlift? Does it feel better if you tilt it this way or that way? I don't care what your fucking PT or your physio told you to say, have your curve here. Feel it. Because that feels fucked there. If it does. And everyone's curve is going to be different. Someone older is going to have a more degenerated disc. They're not going to like extension so much. So whatever that rule of thumb, doesn't matter. They'll tell me where, And sometimes I see something and I think it's off and they said it's feeling. I go, okay, take it here. Does this feel better or not? And they're like, oh, actually, that does feel better there. I'm like, all right, well, feel that. Now you have that feeling. Now when you do this exercise at home, you're just, your mind's eyes on that area and you just do it. You do it. And then while you're doing it, it means, oh, I know they're working their external obliques and rectus abdominis to posteriorly tilt that pelvis because that's the only thing that can hold that there. So they don't have to think about, I've got to activate the rectus abdominis and external oblique. They're going to be doing it from feeling it.
Yeah.
So
it's empowering too. They're not just following some arbitrary like plan with the sets and reps and like do this, do that. It's like I actually feel connected to what I'm doing.
And they get addicted to it, bro. They get really inspired. It's like something they've never realized in their body. So they just like I go to Infinite Work, there's Infinite Work for me, like in my DMs and shit. And I know it because I know the world needs it. And I'm confident in what I do because I know I understand it. Because I remember my mind before I was like, I want that too. Because really what they're getting is a way to look after their body for the rest of their life. That's a good thing to get. And you can't go to many people and get that because they have done it to themselves. So I'm always doing it to myself. And I'm pretty obsessed with it. I'm going to bed listening to shit for 2 hours, But I'm not even that good of a studier, man. I never, like, all the anatomy, I never wrote it down. I can name every hip flexor, the insertion origin, the fiber, what the joint action of the psoas, and what joint action when it's at 9 degrees hip flexion is going to be better at this, and blah, blah, blah. But I never once wrote them down. And that's why, because I'm doing Bodyworkers University. I'll plug, I guess. So I've been creating Bodyworkers University. I called it that because it's for anyone. I don't care if you're a physio, PT, fucking not even in the field. I've made it for someone that's fresh as and just wants to maybe get into it. I'm teaching in a way that is a lot more empowering, that they'll remember the way I did, sort of like in the way I do it, where it's more of a language and not of a memory.
Yeah, rote learned stuff.
When I look at the psoas, let's look at the psoas for an example. Okay, so the psoas connects to the lesser trochanter, which is on the inside of the femur, and it connects from T12 to L5 and the transverse processes, which is the edge. And it spirals in and it's on a certain angle. So you look at the image of it. I don't remember the joint action. You look at the image, okay, well, that connects there and there. So if that shortens, because that's all muscles do, they shorten, that's going to pull my femur up. So I know it's a hip flexor. Cool. Okay, but it's on the inside of my femur. So if it's on the inside of my femur, as it pulls it up, it's sort of going to like sort of going to like here and here, right? It's going to like spiral it out a bit because you're bringing those 2 points together. So it must be an external rotator, okay? Oh, it's on the transverse processes there, and this is in front. So if that contracts, it's going to pull it and rotate my rib cage a little bit this way, my transverse process. So it's a contralateral lumbar rotator. Okay, it's also on that same side, so if that shortens, it's going to side bend everything. So it's an ipsilateral side bender. So therefore, we know the size is a hip flexor, external rotator, contralateral lumbar spine rotator, and ipsilateral, which means same side, contralateral means opposite side, side bender. So therefore, okay, when I need to stretch the psoas, that's the joint action, so I got to do every opposite thing. I got to go internal rotation, hip extension, contralateral side bend, and ipsilateral rotation. And then you do it, you feel it.
Yeah.
So that's a language, knowing, that's just looking at the image and the spiral and it crosses that joint, so it has to do that. And then you can do it with every muscle in the body, yeah? And obviously it takes time and it takes a bit of passion. It's not like, I know it sounds like I simplified it, but it's better than trying to fucking write down and memorize it, because then you're not really getting that quantifiable, like, then I see it during motion, you know? So I know, it does a hip flexor, but like, where does it stop? Where's its best angle? What, how can I line it up better? Like, it's all just fibers. And when you line up, muscles work best in the direction of their fibers. So when you line up a muscle and its fiber, it's going to contract more. So when I work someone's posterior delt here, there's all sorts of shit you can do. But I tell people, like, all right, touch it, move your arm so it really pops out, and you'll have a bit of weight, so it has a bit of a vector, like my phone, right? Okay, well, the fibers run from here to here, so it spirals in a little bit, a bit of rotation. So what happens if I just line them up perfectly? They're lined up perfectly there. So that really makes my posterior delt work now compared to if it was here or here. And feeling will tell you that anyway, but that's just the direction of the fibers. So I want to teach that in Bodyworkers University. I want to teach anatomy in the way I learn, in the way I think about it, in a conceptual way, so you really understand it, not just like it does this. Then I have all postural assessments on real people, and I've got assessments filmed from start to finish from people that were fucked and got better. And I had the sickest one, man. I'm so glad it was filmed. She was had really bad back pain. She drove 4.5 hours, nearly crying just from the drive. And she drove 4.5 hours home without the pain. And it was such a good feeling for me, because it was just like everything came together. She couldn't put her arms above her head. She's seen everyone put her arms above her head. And seen all these physios and shit, gave her fucking wall angels, but no one did the tissue work, man. No one got the fascia. And it was a fascia thing. And then you just know, okay, the joint action is shoulder flexion, so therefore, what are the shoulder extensors? That's all I do.
Yeah.
I probably don't know the directness. So, okay, let's go teres major, let's go lat, let's go subscap, internal rotator, pec major, internal rotator. Basically, just know that the tissue has to get long there to do that. You don't even know that shit. It's all sticky.
To open it up, yeah.
It's all this wet, sticky shit. So you don't need to know all that. I'm probably going to open that up, right? We did that, man. She could put her arms above her head. Now, her pain was L3 pain. And I knew, because I had her on the table and I bent her knee and I watched the L3 slide forward and it created the pain. So again, that's the area that's moving too much. So she can't put her arms above her head, so she does this and then sticks her ass out. Put it up. Compensates. And she was a rower.
Yeah.
So she developed her lats into extension, which no one even asked about her fucking story. Obviously, she's doing that. Just developed it. Stretch her lats out, stretch all that tissue out, hydrated it, and then strengthen her core and that. And basically, she could put her arms up and then her back wasn't hurting. And then she could, and also the multifidus in the lower back. I'm not sure if you know much about multifidus.
I think I listened to one of your podcasts on the multifidus.
It's really important. Yeah. And it's super overlooked to people's back pain. Anyone that has back pain, I always assess it. And hers was multifidus, was pain turns it off. So I got rid of the major things, quad tightness and lat tightness, that was creating pain. Well, that was making that area move too much. So again, that area wasn't moving enough, so it made that area move too much. And then I checked the multifidus and she couldn't fire it. Because it's just the muscle that runs along the spine. But it's important because it's the only muscle that stops rotation and shear between segment and segment. So it crosses segment to segment. So it's the only muscle that does that actually stops that. And it's atrophied in a lot of people. And what the science says is, again, integrating science, right? The science says, when people are in pain, multifidus atrophies and gets fat put into it from the body. So the body tries to put fat into it to create some sort of stiffness, but it doesn't turn it back on. And walking that probably would turn it back on. If we were in nature running down animals and shit, we'd probably turn it back on. If we're sitting, shit happens. So I just worked that muscle up with a little exercise, multifidus exercise, and made her do that before she went on a drive home. And then her pain was gone. Her pain's been gone ever since. Multifidus is super. Whenever you hear of a backstory that someone puts their back out every like 3-4 months, that's a multifidus story for me. So make sure you really look at that, because it's something so small can make such a difference. Definitely in SI joint pain. I find it's probably the most important for SI joint pain for people.
I feel like my multifidus is probably wrecked then.
Mine
I feel
was,
like I can relate.
It fixed mine. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of exercise are they? Like rotational sort of exercises, or?
No, it's just it's really just pulling the ilium back. So like, I train their brain to it. So really, the way I think about it is this. It's this, right? So it runs all the way down the spine, but usually it's these lower fibers. Sort of like put your thumb, like pop a pimple on your spine almost, right? And then the cue is that bone, the two PSISs are like a guide wire, and you're trying to squeeze them together. So I put it there, and I just turn it on, like now it's on.
Ah, gotcha.
Always sticking your ass out turns it on because they're an extensor. So it's like you got to get enough extension that it swells, but not enough that it changes your curve.
Cool.
And I get them to turn on like that, but also I'll get them in quadruped like this,
Yeah.
and just doing a little hip hike on the one side and making sure like my thumb's on it, making sure it's swelling and not just all the lumbar erectors. Like they got to feel that. Like if they're flat, they won't be able to feel it. So you got to make sure there's a curve. You draw the core in and then gently go up and hold for 10 seconds. I do 10-second holds. And what they should feel afterwards is that it should feel jacked up, like it's swollen. And when that swells, it tensions the sacrotuberous ligament and the sacrospinous ligament of the SI joint and stabilizes the SI joint motion. Okay? So the swelling of that tensions the ligament, and the ligament is what stops the motion.
Oh, sick. Thanks. That's almost like a free assessment for me. I might give those a crack, actually.
Yeah, it's good, man. People, I get a lot of people to do that with lower back pain as part of it. And they got to generally do that, just that one thing, like 3 to 5 times a day, and keep the stiffness throughout it. And eventually it starts to, then you do it with movements, and then they connect to that while they do their whatever, and it starts to feel more natural. But the pain side, you almost got to always keep maintaining it if there's an old injury. I have an old deadlift injury from CrossFit when I was 18. My multifidus on my right is weaker. It's harder to fire. I can get it there. I just got to keep maintaining it. There's like a neural disconnect there that I feel like will always be there. But if I maintain it, I'm good. And I was feeling bone on bone grinding. And then I pump it up, I don't feel any grinding.
Wow.
So that was a huge
crazy one
for me, because I thought it was something permanent. But it wasn't. Yeah, it must have just been like, because the swelling must have created space instead of letting it touch.
I was going to say, CrossFit came out when I started at the gym. I was maybe like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Exact same thing. It's like, I can't even remember. It was something stupid, like 15, 12, 10, like deadlifts and then a run and then pull-ups and then deadlift. And like, I wrecked my back after that for like days. I couldn't even bend over to like pick anything up.
Yeah.
And like, I have the same feeling. I feel like from then, like it's this like tiny little niggle, like could still deadlift and like it doesn't really affect me that much, but if anything's going to flare up, it'll be that. Especially if like maybe I stand for too long or like something, go for a long run, maybe that's the thing that's gonna like.
Yeah, same. It sounds like an extension based injury, like a facet or the SI joint. Either way, the treatment's going to be pretty similar for that area. But yeah, usually the SI joint hates the anterior tilt. Okay, so it usually feels good to bend forward or tuck under when it's like that.
Yeah, for sure.
If it's a disc pathology, it won't like bending forward. It will like bending back mainly.
That's
like the standard, you know. But yeah, usually the bending forward will make it sort of feel better.
Yeah,
and that's why it's important that the hamstrings even tighten up on the side that happens, because the hamstring will try and posteriorly tilt that pelvis and tension that ligament for you. Yeah, so it's a fine line, but we don't want that too much, because then if you posteriorly tilt the pelvis too much, it levers your hips out of the labrums, and then people can't rotate the spine, the hips get all fucked up, and so
that's spot on. Literally, if I fold, like bend, like if I've been standing for too long, bend forward, that's the thing that's like, that feels good. Maybe my back will click or something. But I wanted to ask you.
Looking at that too, dude, like that standing up, that's sometimes using the back sensors too much will do that. It'll compress. So sometimes abdominal strength can help, lower abdominal strength can help alleviate that pressure that's there and bringing an awareness to like making sure you're not like just going too far up and feeling like, am I just using my back extensors to stand up all day long, or is there a balance between the two? Just to add the back extensors and not make the hip shift too far forward or back.
Yeah, I've been trying to be like way more conscious of like my abs lately, and just like even slightly turning them on every now and then. If I think about it, I'm like, oh, that feels better. I wanted to ask you one last question. All this like knowledge and passion and stuff that you have for this area, do you reckon that's what it's like when you found your calling?
Yeah. It's definitely like, I know it's what I'm meant to do on this earth without a doubt. So that's a blessing. But I was super passionate, but it built in more. At the start, it wasn't that. Like I was looking for the answers. I was looking, what do I do for this? What do I do for that? And you got to go through that. You have to go through that. But then once it became more of a real conceptual, like, oh, I really get it now. Like instead of looking, it was also technical at the start, and now it's simplified a lot more because I don't think a lot of the shit didn't matter so much. You don't need to know all the fucking anatomy of the iliacoccygeus and all these little things. Like focus on the things that matter for you. Don't worry about the forearm muscles to begin with. Focus on the back and the glutes and core and shit. You know, you don't have to know all that. The major things, but then you just and my tip for people wanting to learn more is just immerse yourself in it, dude. I've gotten so much random shit off YouTube. Whoever's type their name and listen to their podcast. You get fucking gems from people that have done like literally 56 years of clinical experience, and they can summate basically their main shit in an hour podcast that saves you 30 years. Like that is everywhere out there, and that's what Bodyworkers University is for me. Like I've done that to a lot of people, so I've taken so much good shit from other people, made my own stuff up. I got here's my own shit I make up, exercise and everything, and I've just made it in my own expression that I expect someone to take from me and make it better. Because I'll have mistakes, I'll have things that I think are right, they're probably wrong, so that's okay. But that's what it's all about, evolution, you know. So just immerse yourself, listen to podcasts, listen to YouTube shit. That multifidus exercise, I got that fix that chick's back. I found that on a random fucking YouTube video that got 40 views or some nothing, you know?
Crazy.
But I've tested them all. I went through and tested it and I go, this one feels the best for me. I feel this, so I'm going to choose that one. No one taught me that exercise, you know?
Yeah.
I was taught other ones in the Chek, but I'm like, I don't feel that as much. I'm going to use this one, you know? I don't like that. It feel good to me. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. So I do everything myself, all these exercises I do myself. It feels good. I use it. Because then you can talk on experience about it. You know what you did wrong, and you know then you can feel it, right? So immerse yourself, listen to podcasts, read random books. Don't even read from cover to cover. I do little soul things. I got this book here, really good book, Kinesiology of the Musculoskeletal System by Donald Newman.
Oh, so
it's like probably my Bible. I've never read it cover to cover. You just look at shit you're interested in. It's like a bit of a conceptual view of the body. It's pretty tech. It's one that you got to like stop, go to ChatGPT. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Yeah.
But I'll just do random shit, man. Firstly, I'll look at the contents and I'll say, oh, what does my soul want me to do? Like, I'm interested in that. Let's do that, right? And then sometimes I'll do random shit. So I'll just go, right, universe, teach me something. This is a fun way of studying, right? And I'll just go through. Okay, I ended up on the radius and the ulna. So I'm going to read these 2 pages. I'm going to read them till I fucking get it. If I don't get it, I'll keep going till I get it. I'll go, and now, oh, sweet. Okay, the radius is there, the ulna's there. Oh, what side the radius? Oh, the radius on that side. That's like a razor. So that's how I can remember that. Radius, ulna's on the other side. Oh, look, the ulna's fixed. The radius moves on the ulna and the ulna's connected to the humerus. Now I know that the radius is connected to the ulna and the ulna's connected to the humerus. That's cool. Now, does that even matter probably in the way you treat someone? Probably not. But at least it adds to your fucking content and shit you can talk about and have people know about you know? So it doesn't have to be so, oh, look, that's the electronon. Look at the way that works with that. Like, and I'll probably forget half of it.
Yeah.
But fuck it.
There'll be something there.
You know?
And sometimes you almost like get paralyzed by trying to decide what to learn or what should I research or what do I want to look into. So I like that sort of more spontaneous approach.
It's open it up. Just learn and let your soul, like, look at contents. Like, what do I want to know about? Like, I want to know more about the core. Do I want to know more about the glutes? Do I know, like, the anatomy of the hip? Like, what about hip problems? And then go to ChatGPT and talk to it.
Yeah.
You can do deep research. So I did deep research. I go, deep research Shirley Salmons. I want to know about the subscapularis and the angle and what she says about this. And I want this. And I get this crazy information that I just talk. Oh, what EMG studies show the best activation of hip flexion psoas, you know? And it tells you this shit that we don't have to do that anymore. ChatGPT is crazy, bro.
Man.
it is wrong with things, but use it with certain things that are like pretty straightforward. Like, okay, what level of hip flexion has the best angle for the glutes to fire in EMG studies? And it can pull up science for you for that. And you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, what does it feel like when I do it? Like, and it's just like, you'll be creative in the universe and what you're meant to do. No, we're all not meant to be the same. You're going to have your own gems of shit, and you're going to attract the clients you're meant to have and all that sort of shit. Like and that's all it has to be. I'm going to do a shiatsu course soon. This dude, cool guy. They don't know anatomy. They're just doing random shit in the air. I can see, fuck, that would cook someone's lower back with that.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to get some gems from it.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it just to be interesting. Like, this is going to be cool. I'm going to, be able to massage people with my feet on the, the ones where you're like laying in the hanging on your feet and shit.
Yeah.
Fun when you have a chick over and you want to play with that,
mix it up.
Just mix it up. Like, it's just do things that make you interesting. Don't live a boring life, and follow your passion. Once you know it, which I know it's hard to find that. Once you know it, fuck, just go all in, man. You don't need to do too much. Just chip away. Before bed, fuck, I'm just going to listen to a random YouTube video on that. Just always touch on things. Doesn't have to be sit down and study. When I drive, I listen to random shit. Just fucking listen to it. Like, don't need to take notes. Who cares? Like, you can if you want.
Yeah, I love that, man. And that shit compounds. Like, I don't know, every night I'm cooking dinner, maybe take 30, 40 minutes, I'm going to chuck a podcast on. Or like driving to work, chuck a podcast on. And it is amazing, eh? It compounds. Just like standing in the wrong posture is going to mess you up. Always listening to something 30, 40 minutes a day. Do that over a year. That's a lot of learning,
It is, dude. It is. It adds up, and some people don't do anything. Some people just live their day-to-day life. They go to work, they come home, and they just sit on that. Say if your work isn't what you like, the hardest bit is this during a career change. It's going to work and then working on the work you want to do after work, and then hopefully you get a career out of it. That's the hardest bit, bro.
That's the grind,
eh? Easy. It's like, fucking sweet, this is my job now. But what was hard for me was scaffolding all day long, and then having to study, check shit, and then hopefully getting work from it. And then I was doing MMA and jiu-jitsu. I still do jiu-jitsu. So I was like scaffolding all day, driving big hours, doing jiu-jitsu. And then what I did, because I wasn't good at studying, I go, all right, well, I'm driving 2 hours to work, so let's listen to shit for 2 hours. I'll do my little Chek course online. Even though I can't look at it that much, even though I'm just listening, I'm doing it. Oh, okay, I've got another 2 hour drive. I'm just going to listen to the same video again. Oh, I'm going to listen to the same video again, even though I thought I got it. Oh, I didn't get that. So you repeat the same videos and use dead time to study. When I did the dishes the other night, I was talking to myself, assessing my joint actions. Name all the forearm muscles. Okay, where does that connect? What are the antagonists of that? And start talking to yourself while you're doing mundane tasks. And then you're studying at any stage you want. Things that you already know, things that you think you know, drill it in so much that you don't forget it,
Yeah, becomes second nature, eh?
Yeah, because I did the forearm muscles. I thought I nailed them. And then I fuck, what was that one in the middle again? That doesn't happen to the other parts of the body.
Yeah.
I've done that so much more. So now I've got that. I won't forget that. I know them now, But they're not even that important because they're not a major thing that, they do this and this and this. So it's like, it's more important. Focus more on probably the pelvis, really, the quads, hip extensors, hip flexors, external rotators, internal rotators, and the shoulder muscles. That's probably like a
big pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, and the core, because the shoulder is such a complex joint. Upward rotation, downward rotation, elevation, anterior tip, posterior tip. You know what I mean? There's a lot to that. But in bodyworkers, I got me teaching probably about an hour and a half. This guy that doesn't know any of them, I got him teaching him all the shoulder muscles and their joint actions, and he pretty well remembers them by the end.
Damn.
So without even writing them down, just showing him the imaging and look at that connect. What does that do? So I'm going to just, I really want to move into my life in the teaching. I'm always going to do it, the craft, because I'm always learning. But what the problem for me, I had a bit of a internal battle, was like, because we sell all supplements and that, right? That's our income, basically. I do clients because I love it, but it's not our income. The income's mainly the other shit, right? Doesn't even compare. So I was like, fuck, I don't even need to really work anymore with that. Like, I could, But I was like, fuck, how can I, this is my passion, how can I do it? And I was like, I can create Bodyworkers University. It forces me to learn forever because I get a financial incentive, because I'll do it as a school community. So I have everyone in a community aspect. That's what I want. It's what I wanted when I started. How good would it be getting into this shit? Doesn't matter what you are, personal trainer. You just still fucking work with rehab. I don't give a fuck. It's outside your scope. Just do it.
Yeah.
Don't be stupid, Just like, and then you will stand out so much from the average, so much. You know, if they want to go see you instead of the local physio, that's a huge thing. And
Yep.
word travels fast, bro. You know, so I want to create a community where you can upload videos. I got this client. What do I do? What are you thinking? And I have a monthly Zoom call where everyone gets together and we all have a learning objective for the month. Like we're all going to nail the hip flexors. Everyone's going to remember each hip flexor, the joint action, what they do. Then we're going to talk about it. What does it look like when someone's got a short one, long one? You know, just immerse yourself. I'm going to say, learn this, but then go learn as much as you can. We're going to come back. We're all going to talk about it. We're going to share. And then just choose one piece of the body next till we're all pretty upskilled. But more importantly, the community where you feel a bit like, fuck, I don't know. What do you guys reckon? And I wish I had that when I started.
Yeah.
And basically what I put in it is all the shit I wish I knew. Like all the shit I unlearned that I didn't need to do and all the shit that I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that. Like that would have saved people years of mistakes that I did, you know?
Man, that's so sick.
Yeah, have fun.
That is so cool.
That excites me. And for some reason, it's not out there. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously your calling, eh? It's the gap that you noticed. Like,
Yeah.
there's a space for it. Man, that's so cool. I feel like I could talk to you for freaking 10 hours on a podcast.
Yeah. I really appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me on. We'll do another one at some stage once we get it rolling. And tag me in any of the reels, whatever you put out, and we'll collaborate and I'll share it.
Yeah.
It would be cool. Tag Callan and Corrective.
Yep. Yeah.
And body workers. Do it all.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Sweet. Man, I appreciate your time.
No worries, bro. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, no worries, man.